guys, it's Katie from Without a Crystal Ball. Okay, I was gonna not do a video about Janelle today, but then I saw some stuff popping off on social media. I saw some stuff on Twitter. I saw some stuff on YouTube. And I feel like now that she is trying to be a YouTube creator, she is acting remiss, and we need to talk about it because a couple things are happening here. One, she's going after Kale and Lowry again for like the millionth time. And not to mention her ridiculous videos that she is putting out on her channel. Let's talk about her video from last night, which I already posted a video on with a recap, which you can post up here. But on that video, she claimed that the only reason she lost custody of her kids was because of an anger issue related to David. However, she provided documents that completely negated what she said. In fact, contradicted what she said. There was, according to the documents, the court believed that something had happened, whether physically or SA, to Ensley, meaning somebody had done something to Ensley, and they had enough grounds to believe that this was true, along with improper and inadequate supervision leading to either an injury of ABUSE or SA happening to this little girl, okay? She skated over that entire part of her video and stuck to the fact that she said it was about anger, when it very clearly stated it had nothing to do with his anger and it had everything to do with an allegation of Ensley being hurt by somebody in the house. You can't skate over that, present that evidence on YouTube, and then pretend like the people that are commentating on it don't see the evidence. Because while I was on Twitter today, I saw Grace from the Grace Report who was calling out Miss Janelle because Janelle shows up on her channel and tells Grace that she is spreading false information, and she threatens and says your channel needs to be shut down. In the real world on YouTube, you cannot say somebody's channel is like to be shut down because you don't like an opinion or the commentary that somebody holds. In the video, Grace was very, very clear that Janelle was being deceptive. She was being manipulative. She was not being truthful with her audience about what happened and why the authorities got involved in this case. Instead, deflected it to, well, they were just worried about his anger, when there was clear evidence that she made a point to present. Nobody else brought the evidence to the table but Janelle. So when Janelle brings the evidence to the table, suddenly we're supposed to ignore that her documents don't match any of the words that she's saying. And then you have Barb co-signing to all of this when you also have Barb's statements from a year ago not aligning with anything that Barb said. And then you have David, who is pretending like none of this happened. And as a viewer and of the audience, people are like supposed to forget about the multiple TROs, her leaving her husband, her accusations, more than 29 plus phone calls to 911. There was the allegation of her shoulder being dislocated, which she in fact told me that her cuff, like the rotator cuff, not the rotator cuff, like this bone right here was like dislocated and she might need to have surgery because of what he did to her. She also told me that there was 4 times that he got physical with her. She talks about things that he did to Kaiser and how he treated Jace. And so suddenly we are supposed to forget about all of that, and CPS is now the villain. And it's completely, there are reasons that you can be mad, a million different reasons why you can be mad at someone for unjust things that happen in the system, but they had a right and they had a reason to look into this, and there was a justifiable reason to look into what happened. And so for her to go on to somebody's channel looking at court documents and say, you need to have your channel shut down, you can't do that, Janelle. You can't threaten another YouTuber who's literally providing commentary on something that you put out. Not only did she go onto Grace's channel and threaten to shut her down, but then she went onto her Instagram stories and legit threatened her, and then brought up my name and Leslie Bass's name. 3 women that work their butts off delivering you guys content so that you guys can get the stuff, what's going on these shows. None of us are reporting false information. We're reporting the inconsistencies about what we're seeing in your videos. So when you go out on here, just watch her video. Just watch.
So I made this whole YouTube series so I can give you guys insight on the false allegations that they had against us and how the case was ultimately dismissed at the end. So within this docu-series, I want to be very honest with you guys. So therefore, I'm trying to show all the documentation that I can. Well, there's a YouTuber out there. Her name is The Grace Report. And she is trying to basically say off my YouTube videos that my daughter has been sexually abused by someone in our household. That has never, ever came into the news. That has never been an allegation against my husband during the entire CPS case. So for you, The Grace Report, to be making drama out of I do not appreciate it. Will be contacting the authorities, and I will be reporting every video from here on out that she wants to report about me. So here's a report for you, Grace, or whatever the is. The allegations of abuse was lies, and it was about physical abuse against my son. Nothing to do with my daughter. But again, you will find all this out later on in the other episodes that I'm gonna upload within this docu-series. So stay tuned, swipe up to see episode 2. 3 YouTubers to watch out for that report false news. Crystal Ball, Leslie Bass, Grace Report.
Okay, here. First of all, we are commentators, and why are you bringing up my name? You think I'm a stalker, so why is my name coming out of your mouth? Or, I thought you didn't like me. I thought you didn't pay attention to me. For someone who doesn't like me and who doesn't pay attention to me, you certainly are paying attention to what I'm saying about you. And the fact of the matter is why are you getting so edgy and angry and literally flipping out at Grace thing? You don't get to act like what she did was illegal, because all she did was posted what you shared, your document, which I put up repeatedly because it's obvious that's where she got the information. It says physical injury or SA. It doesn't specify which, nor does that document say it has anything to do with your son. It says it's for your daughter, because that report is for Ensley. It's not for Kaiser. And it doesn't matter whether or not it got all brushed aside at the end of the day. They had a legitimate reason to go into your house. Whether or not you think it's legitimate doesn't matter. It's the job of these people to keep your children safe. And we are not going to ignore the 29 calls to 911. The fact that your dog was, basically put out because your husband doesn't know how to adequately supervise his daughter. And because you have been stuck in this relationship and have lost everything. And do we need to point out the fact that you have literally spent the last month trying so hard to get back onto MTV that you release all of this on the same week they release Teen Mom 2, and then you start fighting with any single person that has anything to do with this. And you start fighting with Kale again. You are so salty, Janelle. So salty. And you don't tell people not to listen to people because you don't like them. I don't go up to people and say, you shouldn't follow Janelle. Like, I know half the people that watch me are watching you because you are it's such a mess. You are so blatantly lying about everything. And if you want to put this whole thing out, you have to know that Grace has a right to commentate on it, just like I do, and so does Leslie. You don't get to mess with someone's livelihood because you don't like the reaction that they gave you. And you certainly, if you're going to enter into the YouTube sphere, girl, you better understand how YouTube stands work, because this isn't MTV anymore. You don't have a network behind you anymore. Now you're on the same playing field as Grace, as Leslie. You have no better standing. You have no bigger position. You have no job with a network. You are the same. You are equal. You are not above us, and you will not treat us like we are beneath you. And you do not disrespect channels that cover you because you don't like them. I have dozens of channels that call me out. 99.9% of them I ignore because it's their right to contact me or to call me out. It's not okay to do this. And to blatantly pick the black YouTuber, it's so obvious what you're doing here. Because I posted all the screenshots of all of the allegations that you told me. You never went on to your Instagram and called me out, but I'm white. It's easy to call out Grace when your husband's a racist. And this just proves it even more. So here's the thing. You don't get to threaten us. You don't need to tell people, you don't have to watch us. And you certainly, if you're going to play on YouTube, you better learn about the stands. Because the stands of Grace, the stands of Leslie, and the stands of me are not going to be okay with this behavior. They're not going to accept this attitude because guess what, Janelle? You don't have a job. You're not on reality TV and no one wants to work with you. And you minimized why MTV didn't want to be involved with you. It isn't because they were afraid of that they didn't have actual legitimate fears. I have spoken to people that have talked to MTV producers that have said they left your property because he was threatening them with guns. Didn't he just do that to your friend? Didn't he pistol whip him? Are we supposed to forget about that? The video where your little girl is in the video and he is screaming and yelling and gets physical with one of your friends, but it's just an anger issue? People have a right to still be concerned about the safety of your kids. And we will continue to point out the inaccuracies because anytime someone uses a platform to lie and there's a child's life that is at risk, you better believe people are going to be pissed off and are going to speak up. I don't normally cut this kind of character, but Janelle, you're on YouTube now. You're not a big dog. Stop going after stop yelling at Kale on Twitter. Stop yelling at Grace. Stop dropping F-bombs. Stop picking out the black YouTuber. It's disgusting. And I'm pretty sure this little rant you posted is going to be everywhere soon because it's not your best look. Bye, guys.